And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
Mr. Ramaswamy.
This is how we get our country back.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So I'm going to be honest. I'm sure, like a lot of you guys, after the first two Republican debates, man, I almost didn't even watch the third debate, but I am really pretty glad that I did. I have never, ever, not even from original Trump, like the original total loose cannon Trump, before everybody was telling him what to, helping him figure out what to say. I've never seen a debate performance like Vivek Ramaswamy had last night. But first, we got to talk about winners. We got to talk about losers. And as usual, by not even showing up, Trump wins. These debates, they're not hurting him and they're not helping him. And it was nice, actually, this time around, they didn't really even talk about him too much. That must not have focus grouped, very well. They actually had, by and large, really good, substantive policy discussions, which was a nice change. Even Chris Christie had some okay moments that had nothing to do with Trump. But I will tell you this, no one came out swinging quite like Vivek.
Ramaswamy, let me turn to you. Please make your case. Why should you be the nominee and not the former president?
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. There's a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. Since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. Do you think the Democrats, we've got Kristen Welker here, do you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
Mr. Ramaswamy.
This is how we get our country back. We need accountability because this media rigged the 2016 election. They rigged the 2020 election with the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
and they're going to rig this election.
Your time is up.
Accountability.
Let me turn to Governor Christie. Why you?
Wow. Yeah. So look at that. Absolutely saying things that every single one of us are probably thinking, right? Or have thought. But not one of the other candidates will confront it, will talk about it. They're all too scared, Vivek, he seems to be on a mission. The dude has taken no prisoners. And he didn't just go after other candidates, man. He went after the completely weak, probably corrupt Republican establishment and took an absolute wrecking ball right to the media, right to their face. Confronted Kirsten Welker right to her face about media lies, media manipulations. All she could do was sit there and smile and hope it would all be over soon. She didn't even think about answering. But and apparently Ronna McDaniel, she was feeling brave after Vivek reminded the world just how bad at her job she really is.
It looks like he's speaking now to Ronna McDaniel. Can't make her out exactly, but it looks like they may be having the exchange. Look, this was a big debate. Vivek came out here. He attacked the moderators. He attacked the media. He attacked the RNC for setting up this debate the way it was. And for a lot of the debate, he was on the attack. It was Vivek first, the rest of the room. When we look at the rest of the candidates and who received a lot of that incoming, we start with Nikki Haley. It then goes to Governor Ron DeSantis, who was center stage, of course, the hometown hero, if you will, in his state of Florida. And then Vivek in third place, getting other attacks as well. But he clearly was on.
Yeah, so there's that. Vivek, he doesn't look happy. And he didn't look fake either. He didn't look like he was trying to play nice. Let me know in the comments what you think she was actually saying to him. And really, let me know how long you think it will be before the media starts pushing some bogus narrative about Vivek being misogynist or whatever, because McDaniel, wasn't the only woman that he pissed off last night. Really, he also went pretty hard at Nikki Haley, who really is surging in the polls. I can't tell you why. I have no idea why. She's just a war hawk. But anyway, he got so under her skin that she called him scum right on the stage, which I didn't really even know people still use that as an insult in the year 2023. But I don't know, maybe that's just a couple classes above me. I don't know. But here are my thoughts on Haley. You know, she talks tough about reining in the national debt, but she wants to write blank checks all over the world for every war she could possibly get her hands on, which honestly, if we're being honest, is the majority of our debt in the first place. And Vivek, you know, he actually does a pretty good job of going over this with some details that I didn't even know.
But I want to be careful to avoid making the mistakes from the neocon establishment of the past. Corrupt politicians in both parties spent trillions, killed millions, made billions for themselves in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, fighting wars that sent thousands of our sons and daughters, people my age, to die in wars that did not advance anyone's interests, adding $7 trillion to our national debt. And Joe Biden sold off our foreign policy. Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, got a $5 million bribe from Ukraine. That's why we're sending $200 billion back to that same country. The fact of the matter is the Republican Party is not that much better. You have the likes of Nikki Haley, who stepped down from her time at the UN. Bankrupt or in debt was her family. Then she becomes a military contractor. She joins the board of Boeing and otherwise, and is now a multimillionaire. So I think that that's wrong when Republicans do it or Democrats do it. That's the choice we face. Do you want a leader from a different generation who's going to put this country first? Or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels?
All right, Mr.
In which case, we've got two of them on stage tonight.
Ramaswamy, thank you.
Yes, I'd first like to say they're 5-inch heels, and I don't wear them unless you can run in them.
We've got two of you on stage.
The second thing that I will say is I wear heels. They're not for a fashion statement. They're for ammunition. Well,
And I'd like the likes of the sharpest of the war hawks on Ukraine, Nikki Haley, to have some accountability and answer. Do you want to use U.S. taxpayer money to fund the banning of Christians? That is actually what's happening. They're using the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. They have banned them. The Ukrainian parliament just did this last week, supported by our dollars. And I think you owe it to the American people, Nikki, to at least this one
Mr.
time at least
Ramaswamy,
condemn.
thank you. That's time.
At least to
Mr.
condemn
Ramaswamy,
their
thank
banning
you.
of Christians.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
or else
thank
we're
you.
talking out of both sides
Mr.
of our mouth
Ramaswamy, thank you. We asked the questions.
Ramaswamy, we've talked about this. You campaign on TikTok. How do you get TikTok banned if you use it?
Well, I want to laugh at why Nikki Haley didn't answer your question, which is about looking at families in the eye. In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my
before
daughter
preaching
out
to
of your
anybody else's
voice.
adult daughter. The next generation of Americans are using it. And that's actually the point. You have her supporters propping her up. That's fine. Here's the truth.
You're just
the easy
scum.
answer is actually to say that we're just going to ban one app. We got to go further. We have to ban any U.S. company actually transferring U.S. data to the Chinese.
So, yeah, I mean, the dude, he went a little hard in the paint, right? The heel joke, honestly, that might not play too well, but, you know, they'll come at him with misogyny or whatever with that. But honestly, nothing he said was false. He was absolutely 100% correct. And I don't know if you guys caught it, but he was firing at DeSantis also, saying that there were two people on the stage with 3-inch heels, which is pretty dang funny, going after old little D like that. But anyway, that is funny, but that's not what these things are about. So we'll see how it shakes up in the polling. We'll see if it even matters, if anyone's even watching these things after the first two. But even more interesting than all that, you know, I'm curious to see how the attacks change. I can only imagine that Vivek made some new enemies and pissed off the old ones nice and fresh. But so we'll see what actually happens. You know, they'll have to be careful how they attack him because nothing he said was a lie. Everything he said was completely true. And, you know, they're already starting the lazy high heels misogynist angle.
He called you Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels. Do you think that was sexist?
I don't even give him the time of day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll ramp that one up quite a bit in the coming days, but, you know, credit where credit's due. Nikki Haley didn't take the bait. You know, she's tough enough to just recognize a good line when she hears it, I guess, and so I got to appreciate that. You know, she also knows that she just needs to put that debate behind her as quickly as possible because they all got served. You know, her personal finances coming out, I'm sure that no one likes to hear that on the debate stage, you know, but they were all busy fighting one man while he really seemed to be keeping his attention right where it should be they were almost an afterthought. He kept his attention, for the most part, on Joe Biden.
Party. End this farce that Joe Biden is going to be your nominee. We know he's not even the president of the United States. He's a puppet for the managerial class. So have the guts to step up and be honest about who you're actually going to put up so we can have an honest debate. Biden should step aside, end his candidacy now so we can see whether it's Newsom or Michelle Obama or whoever else.
All right,
just
Mr.
tell us the
Ramaswamy,
truth so we can have an honest
time is
debate.
up.
Dude. The dude is a wrecking ball. He is absolutely turning out to be a freaking wrecking ball. And he's absolutely right. You know, I cannot see a way that they can parade that poor old guy out on the campaign trail, whether you like Biden or whether you don't like Biden, whether you're one of the few 30-something% that actually believe he's doing a good job, or whether you live closer to reality. It doesn't matter. There's just no reasonable person that could imagine Joe Biden campaigning, debating, stumping, while continue to accomplish, whatever it is he's accomplishing as president. And Kamala, who you notice, no one even lists as a replacement when they're rattling through all the people that could, supplant Joe Biden. She really, really was a bad choice for them, man. They screwed this up so bad. It shows you what, affirmative action hire really can do to you, do to a company, do to a country. Because this was not the plan. A second term was never the plan. Remember, he was supposed to be a transitional president, his exact words, whatever that meant. So Vivek is right. They need to be clear. The other side I'm talking about, they need to be clear about what they're doing. They also need to be clear about what is really going on with the Biden business. They should at least tell us a little bit about what kind of business it even is. We deserve to know at least that, at least tell us that. But, that way people like Dana Bash, when they're triggered after the debate, we can have a little more substantive conversation. But let's have some sort of idea what they're talking about.
But what I'm saying is, as a Republican candidate, I can't just call out Democrats and their corruption. I've called out the Hunter Biden corruption from Ukraine and the $5 million bribe, and I will continue to do that. But I will call it out the Republican Party.
There's no evidence to support
as well.
There's no evidence to support
that he was paid a $5 million bribe from Burisma.
No.
Well, if he was, that's corruption. Okay.
But if he was, I just want you're making an allegation where there's no evidence.
There's literally
to back that up.
Okay,
Our Daniel Dale literally just talked about this on the air.
Absolutely, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence and testimonial evidence to suggest it. You have U.S. senators saying they've received information. The investigations are proceeding as we speak, but that is corruption in the Democratic Party that I have called out, and I think it deserves to be called out in the Republican Party as well.
There's no evidence.
No, I've not admitted there's absolutely evidence.
Circumstantial evidence, but
well, look, Chuck Grassley, ask Chuck Grassley for the actual recordings that are actually turned over from Burisma.
We have them. Nobody has seen it. But let's
why
just
haven't
talk,
they released? And I think whether it's one thing I was to say is bipartisan point. Whether you're Joe Biden or Nikki Haley, release your tax returns. Be completely open about where you've made your money. The American people deserve to know. I did something early in this campaign that, frankly, people in both parties should be doing. I put out 20 years of tax returns. I understand why people don't do it, but that's the kind of honesty we need in both parties. And so
that. Man, I'm not sure if you guys heard some mental gymnastics from Bash right there, but Vivek said that there was circumstantial evidence and testimonial evidence, and Bash says, well, that's not evidence. I mean, these people, they really do think that their mushy-brained viewers will believe that the only thing that is evidence is someone actually being caught with a smoking gun in their hand standing over a still warm body. That's the only thing that is evidence to these people. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to watch. The machine is slowly, I think, going to turn its full attention towards Vivek, and that's coming. I believe it. But let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. That's just my take. And if you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. We'll see you in the next one.